it's Gabrielle, and this video is a sample from Studyclix Boost, our new rapid revision tool. Go to studyclix.ie/boost to find out more.
In this video, we're going to look at why plants need a transport system. So, plants do need a transport system, and it provides the materials needed for various plant metabolic processes, including photosynthesis, respiration, growth, and reproduction. What materials are actually transported in plants? Water, carbon dioxide, minerals in the form of ions such as nitrates, phosphates, calcium, and magnesium, and also the carbohydrates produced in photosynthesis, namely glucose. So let's look at water uptake. Water enters the root hair cells by osmosis. And you should remember that osmosis is the movement of water from an area of higher water concentration to an area of lower water concentration across a semi-permeable membrane. Root hairs are adapted to this process by having really thin walls and having a really large surface area. Water then moves into the root. So water moves by diffusion from the root hairs into the ground tissue, also known as the root cortex, and it eventually reaches the xylem. Remember that diffusion is the movement of a substance from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. Xylem is a type of vascular or transport tissue that forms continuous hollow pipes from the roots all the way up to the leaves of plants. So once the water is in the root, how does it move from the root up towards the leaves? There are 4 mechanisms that combine to cause the upward movement of water through the stem in the xylem, and they are root pressure, cohesion, adhesion, and transpiration. In root pressure, as water moves into the root by osmosis, it builds up a pressure in the root cortex that pushes water into the xylem, and from there, the water begins to move upwards. Cohesion means similar molecules sticking to each other. So water molecules stick to each other as they move up the xylem. Adhesion means different molecules sticking together. So here the water molecules stick to the sides of the xylem tubes as they move up the plant. And finally, transpiration. As water evaporates from the leaf by transpiration, more water is pulled upwards through the xylem into the leaf. Water vapor exits the leaves through tiny holes called stomata. So let's take a more detailed look at the role of transpiration now. Water evaporates from the leaf cells in transpiration, and this creates an osmotic gradient. The leaf cell becomes less turgid, meaning it contains less water, and this causes water to move out of the xylem towards the leaf cells. Leaves need to be able to control water loss, and they do this by having cuticles and stomata. The presence of a cuticle ensures that water cannot pass through the cuticle. The cuticle is a waterproof waxy layer that covers the outside of leaves. The presence of a cuticle helps reduce excessive loss of water. Stomata closing reduces water loss, and stomata opening increases water loss. So here's what you usually need to be able to do. Describe the uptake and transport of water through the plant.